Cool. And then let me get Instagram running. All right. So the title of today's discussion is "The Self You Refuse to Release is the Life You Keep Repeating." All right. How loyalty to an old identity masquerades as patience, healing, or logic. Okay. Y'all have loved that height thing. Y'all haven't read through the comments and seen all those people confessing that they have changed their height? Would it even matter to me if I told you again? I've already told you once that that is the truth. What more do you need to convince you that it's possible? Doesn't matter if I say it again. I've already said it. All right, so here we go. Here we go. How loyalty to an old identity masquerades as patience, healing, or logic. Here we go. Here we go. Most people don't stay stuck because they're unaware. They stay stuck because they are loyal. Loyal to a version of themselves that once kept them safe. Loyal to an explanation that once made pain survivable. Loyal to a story that once gave chaos a name. And they call that loyalty wisdom. They say they're being patient. They say they're healing. They say they're being realistic. In truth, they're worshiping continuity. Logic, worshiping continuity, right? This is what my past looks like, so it's only logically right that the healing just takes place piece by piece. We unconsciously stay loyal to a reality we don't even want, an identity that we do not have to pledge allegiance to right now. All right? So scripture warns about this. What is okay, here we go. Scripture warns, what is this? Isaiah 66. Anyways, I'll just read it. It's Isaiah. Remember not the former things, neither consider the things of old. Behold, I do a new thing. All right, let me say that one more time. Remember not the former things, neither consider the things of old. Behold, I do a new thing. Now, it's very necessary for us to understand language when we talk about this. Now, when we say remember not the former things, does that mean just cut off your memory completely? This is not a condemnation on memory that shows up, thoughts that show up. It's because those things aren't the problem, right? What is the quote unquote problem? It's the identification. Is that something passes through awareness that was neutral, an experience was neutral, everything was neutral. And then I take that thing that passed by and I say, this is who I am. Remember, every moment is like a still image, a picture. We can choose to look at the picture and say, okay, cool, and let it go and go to the next picture. Or we can take that picture and we can look through it and say, this is a window. This is who I am. That lies the issue. When it's something that you don't want, there lies the issue. All right. So this isn't a condemnation on quote unquote memory. All right. This is telling you to be selective. All right. So remember not the former things, neither consider the things of old. Behold, I do a new thing. Now, when you hear the word behold in scripture, what does that mean? What does behold mean? Behold, I do a new thing. Behold, it doesn't mean wait and see. It means perceive, become aware of, accept as your identity. Behold means perceive. Remember, this is a book of internal consciousness. This isn't a book of looking out. This is a book of internal. So when we say, behold, I do a new thing, it must be talking about perceive, perception. Are you following? I trust that you are. All right. So this is the instruction. Remember not the former things, neither consider the things of old. Behold, I do a new thing. Behold the truth of who you are. You are made new in this moment. Behold the new thing within you right now. It's beautiful. All right. What you remember is what you consult. What you consider is what you give your authority to. The verse is not asking you to deny your past, right? Remember, the past, it's an experience. It's a real experience. It's not telling you to deny your past. It's telling you to what? Stop sourcing your identity from it. Okay? And as a heads up, the link tree in the bio, it'll take you to the YouTube. And then all this is always streamed directly to YouTube. So if I'm streaming on TikTok, I'm on YouTube. I just put it like that. If I'm streaming on TikTok, I'm on YouTube. Cool. The old things are not sinful. So when we say, put off the old things or remember not the former things, okay? This isn't saying because the old things are quote unquote sinful, like according to human standards. What does it mean? Put off the old things. Why should you put them off? You put them off because they're obsolete. They're irrelevant. They don't matter. They're meaningless. This is basically scripture saying reality. What you see out there is meaningless. What you see out there is meaningless. The only truth is behold the new thing right now. Okay? It's saying the same thing that everybody else repeats. Even the ancients were telling us they were just a little more discreet with it. That's all. They belonged, right? So it's talking about the past now. They belong. The old things belong to a version of you that existed under different awareness, different limits, different assumptions. We'll judge our past and say, I should have done this, or I just messed up. But that version of you got you right here. And then we judge it and say we should have done something different, but you don't know what you would have done. That version of you was under different circumstances, had a different level of awareness, different consciousness, different thought process. You don't even remember who you were then. You have a glimpse from the outside looking back, but you're who you are right now. You are who you are right now, all right? To keep returning there is hesitation to move forward disguised as wisdom. So the second part, right? Behold, I do a new thing. It does not mean wait and watch, because this is a book of internal consciousness. It's not saying behold and look out there. Scripture is never pointing you outside of you. It's always going within. The uninitiated look outside, right? But the truth seeker, the one who knows, looks within, okay? So behold, I do a new thing does not mean wait and watch. Behold means perceive, recognize, accept. The new thing doesn't arrive in the future. There is no future. It appears the moment allegiance shifts. This is the, damn, already at 10%. God damn. That is the magic right there. As soon as allegiance shifts. So God is not announcing an upcoming event. God is describing a present reality that can only be seen when the eyes stop looking backward. Ooh, you don't step into the new by fixing the old. You step into the new by releasing your loyalty to who you were and standing where creation is actually happening right here and right now. Boom. That's a gem right there. That's a diamond right there. Okay? You do not step into the new identity by fixing the old. You don't polish the mirror. You don't try to put a new outfit on the shadow. You change the light that casts the shadow, which is you. Okay? I trust that makes sense. How do you do that? How do you do that? Well, you accept a new identity right now. What does it look like practically, Alex? Tell me how. This is how. That was a real experience, but it is no longer me. This is who I choose to be right now. Remember, Job 22:28 says what? Thou shalt decree a thing and it shall be added unto thee. Why I always bring that up is because the word decree translates to what? Speak as a legal authority. Speak as a legal authority. So people will often ask, like, okay, well, how do I choose? I said, well, it's just like, how do you choose what you're going to wear in the morning? You say, this is who I'm going to be. This is what I'm going to wear. You do the same thing. But for those that still are acting confused, to decree is to choose. I speak it. The decree. Why is that important when it says to speak as a legal authority? Because if you're speaking as a legal authority, you don't give a damn if that person believes you. You don't give a damn if they doubt you. You don't give a damn how they feel about that shit. This is just what it is. Point blank, period. This is just what it is. That's to speak as a legal authority. Doesn't matter how I feel about it. I'm just telling the truth of who I am moving forward. This is the identity that I choose to wear moving forward. Point blank, period. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right. So here we go. Boom, boom, boom. You cannot step into the new while kneeling at the altar of the old. You can't step into the new while kneeling at the altar of the old. I got you on the docs, bro. I got you on the documents. All right, so here we go. When healing becomes an identity trap. Healing is meant to be a doorway. So the quote from Rumi that we constantly talk about, the wound is the place where the light enters you. So the wound, the pain, the healing is meant to be a doorway. For many, it becomes a residence. It's meant to be a step through, a pass through. Okay, this is what I was doing. This is what's going on. This is who I want to be. Boom, the healing's done. For many, it becomes a residence. They introduce themselves through their wounds. Have you been that person? Do you know that person? The person that steps in and says, if you understand what I've been through, then you can understand me. This thing has happened, it has changed me so much. This is who I am. You must understand my pain to understand me. Essentially, I am defined by my pain, right? Interesting, right? So they introduce themselves through their wounds. They explain their limits through their past. Well, I just find it hard for me to really believe because this. Always an excuse. Always an excuse. This is an alarm, right? When you catch yourself doing this, this should be an alarm that goes off that immediately says, oh, well, I can tell a different story now. I can choose who I want to be right now. I don't have to pledge allegiance to the past. I don't have to stand at attention for the past anymore. I don't owe it anything. I can give it gratitude for getting me here. And in this present moment, I get to choose new. All right? So they try to explain their limits through their past. They justify their hesitation through what they have been through. None of that is false. It's not false. But truth does not equal authority. The validity of the experience. The experience was valid. I'm not going to sit here and say that your trauma, your pain was not a real experience. But I also will not say that you have to be defined by it. I won't coddle you into saying, yeah, you're right. You can't get what you want because of that. You can't make a decision to decide who you are because of that. And you shouldn't want anyone around you who would accept you doing that. You shouldn't want to accept yourself doing that because at the end of the day, you want what you want, right? So would you prefer to be a victim or would you prefer to have what you want? There we go, right? When we start cutting down, when we start going deeper into, all right, make a choice. Which one do you want? You can either choose to accept the truth that you are new now and you can have whatever you want, or you can choose to say, no, I'd rather stick to that old story. Either way, you're right. Okay? Either way, you're right. Right? No shame. It is what it is. Either way, you're right. All right? So here we go. There's a difference between acknowledging pain and organizing your entire future around it. There's a difference between acknowledging your pain. Yes, it was a real experience. Yes, it hurt. Yes, that version of me felt pain. Yes, I still remember it. However, I don't have to organize who I am right now and my future around it. I feel like every time Lucas comes up here, he'll say that, but who do you say that I am? But who do you say I am? Doesn't matter what situation you're going through, but who do you say you are? He always points back to that verse because it's such a powerful realization. Whatever you're going through, who do you say you are? Whatever you're experiencing, whatever you're feeling, whatever it looks like, who do you say you are? Who do you choose to be in the midst of the uncertainty, of the chaos, of the pain, of the doubt, of the anxiety, of the feeling, of the fear? Who do you say that you are? You can decide. You simply need to decree, right? Job 22:28, thou shalt decree a thing and it shall be. When you make that decree, reality crumbles around it. So Buddhism speaks clearly here. Here's a Buddha quote, right? You're not your thoughts. Buddhism preaches that all the time. You're not your thoughts. Okay? You're not your thoughts. Yet many upgrade the trap. Right? So the trap starts at you're not your thoughts. Okay, cool. I can get behind that, Alex. I can get behind I'm not my thoughts. But then they upgrade a little bit. They say, but I am my trauma, but I'm working through it. But I am the trauma. I'm just working through it. But I'm going to avoid it. This is what I'm doing to get over it. But I'm a Capricorn. But I'm a Scorpio. You know what I'm saying? But I got ADHD. I got C3PO, right? I got all of these things. I got all of these conditions, but I'm working through it. Okay? Let's talk about this, all right? There's a difference between acknowledging pain and organizing your entire future around it. Pain can be recognized without being promoted to authority. Pain can be recognized without being promoted to authority. Awareness does not require allegiance. Awareness can simply be aware. All right. So Buddhism points to this with ruthless clarity when it teaches that you are not your thoughts, right? So thoughts arise, sensations arise, memories arise, but none of them are the self, the true self. They are events in consciousness. To witness pain is wisdom. To build an identity around it is attachment, disguised as what? Insight. But you simply decided to build an identity around it. I know. Here we go. Let's go a little bit further, all right? Many people upgrade the trap and call it progress. Instead of saying, I am my thoughts, instead of just saying, I am my thoughts, they'll say, no, I'm not my thoughts. But then they'll say, I am my trauma, but I'm working on it. Huh? It sounds responsible. It sounds evolved. It sounds spiritual. Yet it still anchors identity to the wound. The self remains defined by what happened, only now with better language and a longer timeline from there to now, right? Cool. Healing becomes an endless process because the one who is healing never leaves the place of injury. You build a residence there. It was supposed to be just a temporary pass through. It's just a moment within time, right? A moment that passed within consciousness, but instead you took it and you built a house there. Huh? Freedom doesn't come from perfecting the story. Freedom doesn't come from perfecting the story. It comes from stepping out of the role entirely, leaving it behind. How much battery I got? Oh, 4% here. 24 here. Oh, we cooking now. Okay, here we go. That still keeps the self anchored in the same location. The mind calls it responsibility. The soul calls it what? Delay. We're just delaying. The mind thinks, no, I have to responsibly get through this trauma. I have to responsibly get through it. But the soul just says, no, you're just delaying. Just accept the truth. Who do you want to be right now? Accept that. That is the truth and move forward. All right, next. The past is not holding you. You're holding the past. We've constantly talked about this. All right, we've constantly talked about this. The past is not holding you. You are holding the past. The past has no hands. It cannot reach into the present and pull you backward. It has no voice unless you give it one. It has no authority unless you keep consulting it. Here's a quote from Jesus, or a quote from somebody who was quoting Jesus later on in life, and they put it in the Bible and said it was Jesus' words, right? No one who puts his hand to the plow and looks back is fit for the kingdom. No one who puts his hand to the plow and looks back is fit for the kingdom. Why a plow, bruh? Why a plow? Right? Plows are meant, you push the plow and they create lines in the field, basically these lines in the field. If you look back, the plow's heavy, right? So you'll veer off. The line won't be straight. What is that talking about? Incoherence, basically, is what it's talking about. Incoherence. All right? So a plow only works when it moves forward. To look back while trying to guide it, guarantees crooked roads. I know you do, Source. You deserve it, right? It guarantees crooked roads. Jesus is not condemning memory or reflection. There's nothing wrong with memory or the reflection. It's exposing divided causation, a divided identity. One identity here another identity in a past event. When identity is split between who you were and who you are choosing to be, movement loses coherence. The kingdom here is not a distant heaven. The kingdom is never talking about a distant heaven, right? Even Jesus said that. No one will say, lo here, lo there, for the kingdom is not something observable with eyes. The kingdom is within you, right now in this moment. If the kingdom is within you, it's right here in this moment. You're already everything you desire to be. Huh? You cannot inhabit the kingdom while sourcing direction from the past. Looking back doesn't mean remembering events. It means consulting the old self for permission. It means asking yesterday, asking your pain who you're allowed to be today. That's it. I mean, I'm trying to consult with the past version. I mean, I've been through that. So can I actually be who I want to be? Let me consult that past version of myself. I need to heal more. I need to work on it more. I don't know. It's just still in my mind more. All right. So the moment you do that, you're no longer leading. You're not leading reality. You're negotiating with the past. Huh? Creation responds to allegiance. Once the hand is on the plow, attention must remain where power flows, in the present decision and not the former identity. The kingdom is entered the moment you stop checking behind you and commit fully to the direction that you have chosen right now. Right now. All right, let me switch phones. Right now. Beautiful. All right, cool. So here we go. You cannot move forward while sourcing your identity from behind you. The kingdom is not a place, it is a state of being. All right. So next part, personality labels as modern are idols. Personality labels as modern idols. One of the most socially acceptable ways to preserve an old identity is labeling. I'm anxious. I am avoidant. I am guarded. I'm intense. Overthinker. I'm just this. I'm just that. I'm just not wired that way. Labels feel honest, grounded. It feels mature. It feels like you're some kind of self-awakened being. But labels freeze motion. They freeze motion. They keep you stuck and rooted in the past. Right? So here's a quote from Carl Jung. What did Carl Jung say? Very profound and simple. I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become. I'm not what happened to me. I'm what I choose to become. So what happened to you may explain patterns, reactions, and survival strategies, but it does not define authorship. Events shape experience, not your essence. Events shape experience. What you've been through. That's it. What you've experienced. Events simply shape what you have experienced, but it has nothing to do with your essence. Your essence is pure, perfect, unchanging, all that there is. Okay? To confuse the two is to mistake conditioning for identity. The moment you believe you are, the moment you believe you're what, my bad, y'all. The moment you believe you are what happened to you, you quietly hand creative authority to memory. Life becomes a reenactment instead of an expression. Okay? So when we simply accept, okay, this is what happened to me, so this is who I am, I completely give my power away. And now I simply live in a time loop. I say, well, this has always happened to me, but this is just what it is. I don't know why this keeps happening. The same face or the same essence, the same people. You keep meeting the same people and the same experiences in different bodies, in different locations. You can move to Timbuktu and you will still find the same women that do the same shit to you. That rhymes. You could move to Timbuktu and still find the same women that do the same shitty things to you. Why? Because you're the common denominator. So as long as we're identifying with our past, we're handing over our power. We're allowing reality to just be a reenactment instead of truly stepping into creation. All right? To choose who you become is not a denial of history. That's one thing that I really wanted to be clear on today, because that's been a question that's come up. Well, how can I choose to see this person favorably if this has happened? How can I forget this? Who says to forget it? Who says you have to forgive it? Forget it. Who says that? Huh? To choose who you become is not a denial of history. It's simply you reclaiming your power from that history in this moment. Choice moves identity from effect to cause. You are the cause. Identity is the first cause. Identity is the first cause. It's the quote unquote master vibration, master frequency. Everything after is an effect. Feelings, thoughts, all that shit is an effect of identity. Identity is the first cause, right? So we take the power, right? We move the identity from anything that is an effect to what? The actual cause. We don't base our identity on things out there, on the past, on feelings, on thoughts. Those things are they're downstream. They'll change when they fucking need to change. But I make the commitment to my identity. All right? Here we go. Choice moves identity from effect to cause. It says, I acknowledge the imprint, but I do not live from it. Becoming is not about fixing the past self. The past self doesn't need to be fixed. It's about releasing it. The future doesn't unfold from what occurred. It unfolds from what is decided now. When choice replaces explanation, repetition ends and creation begins. We're cooking today. All right. So labels explain the past, but they quietly do what? Veto the future. They knock away the future. To hold on to those labels, what does it do? It keeps you in that pattern, in that loop, in that same cycle. You don't want that. Okay? You don't want that. Right? They turn identity into something you manage instead of something you choose. You don't want that. Hear that, right? So using labels, defining yourself with these labels from the past, basing your identity on the past, it turns identity just into something that you manage. Something you're just trying to get through. You have taken on the identity of someone that is hurt, and now you're just trying to manage your pain and manage your feelings and manage that past situation, replay it over and over again, dissect it differently, look at it in all these different ways. And now you're completely letting go of your ability to actually choose something different. Huh? That is self-containment. So this is when the healing journey turns from self-aware, because often people will call this self-awareness. It's not self-awareness. It is literally self-containment. That is not attaching yourself, crucifying yourself to an old situation, nailing yourself to that situation is not self-awareness. You are simply trapping yourself. You're building a prison, and then you're living in it, and then you're asking God to open the doors for you. Hoping and praying that God will open the doors to a building that you built. Okay? Next, honoring the past versus worshiping it. There is a sacred difference here. Honoring the past versus worshiping it. Honoring, worship. Honoring, worship. All right? Honoring the past says what? What's an example of honoring the past? This shaped me, and I'm grateful for the awareness it gave me. I don't have to fake gratitude for some shit I don't like. Okay, this shaped me, and I'm grateful for the awareness it gave me. I'm grateful that it's brought me to this present moment, and I can choose. I'm grateful that reality can unfold differently from within me now because I am reality. What does worshiping say? This defines me and I must remain consistent with it. This is who I am. This happened, so this is who I am. And maybe one day in a distant, far off future, far, far away, in a distant, far, far in the future, maybe I will be healed enough to finally get something that I want. But this is just how I am. You don't understand. This is just how I am. I've been through this. This is worshiping the past. Okay? So one is remembrance. The other is just repetition. Remembrance, repetition. All right? Quote from the Tao Te Ching. When I let go of what I am, I become what I might be. What a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful quote. When I let go of what I am, I become what I might be. The only way to get there is stepping out of that identity into the new, letting go of that old identity and choosing who you want to be in this brand new, generous, beautiful, divine present moment. Letting go, and remember this, okay? Letting go does not mean denying what happened. It doesn't mean, quote unquote, forgetting what happened. It means refusing to let yesterday dictate tomorrow. I refuse to let that story dictate who I choose to be right now. I choose a new story, right? You don't betray your past by releasing it, y'all. Okay? This is actually how you fulfill it. This is how you fulfill yourself. This is how you honor yourself. This is how you treat that past version of you the way that they deserve to be treated. This is how you honor yourself. By releasing, by no longer being defined by that old story. When Jesus said, let the dead bury the dead, this is what it meant. Let the dead situations, the situations of the past, be buried by the past versions of you that experienced it. Allow those things to stay in the past, and you choose who you're going to be right now. You don't have to go back and continue to bury something that's already gone. Yes, it was a real experience. Yes, it made me feel a certain type of way. Yes, it may have shaped me, but it does not define me right now. This is who I choose to be. But who do you say I am? But who do you say that you are? All right? So next, why change feels disloyal. How many more sections we got? 3. Then we got a good ass letter to self today. All right, why change feels disloyal. Worse. Here is the quiet fear most people do not name. If I let go of this identity, who am I without it? If I stop explaining myself through my wounds, will I lose my justification? If I move on, will it mean it never mattered? Oh, ouch. At some point in time, that would have made me feel a certain way reading that. If I move on, will it mean it never mattered? The answer is no. The answer is no. Your past mattered. It just simply does not get to drive anymore. The ego panics when identity shifts because it equates consistency with safety. We've often talked about this, right? Most people, a lot of people, prefer a similar hell versus an unfamiliar heaven. Not because people enjoy suffering, but because what this ego, this mechanism or this construct of an ego is craving is familiarity. Breaking the pattern feels like danger. It's uncertain, it's unsafe, it's unpredictable. But staying in a pattern, even if it causes pain, is predictable, it's safe. So when I say safety, when we talk about, people, create or prefer this familiar heaven, it's not saying that people prefer like comfort. It's saying that we equate pattern recognition, recognizing the pattern, we equate that with safety. How many people do you know that will stay in a job? I remember working at certain companies, there would be people that were there for 30, 40 years and they would hate the place. They would absolutely hate the place. Hate the people, hate the place. complain about it, but they would not leave. And I remember even younger, when I was working in these companies, I would never stay for very long, but there was always this point where I just got really comfortable. And then I was like, well, I could just coast and something would happen that would just push me to leave. But there's always kind of this comfort, this moment where I was just like, this is familiar. I don't like being here. I don't like this shit, but it's just familiar. It's easy. I can predict my suffering. I can predict the suffering. Wouldn't that be a little easier than me learning a new skill, meeting new people? I don't know if that job's going to be harder, easier. There's so many unknowns. I just would, it might be easier to stay. And eventually you push yourself out. But it is a step that you have to take. A lot of times that's what we have to confront right there. Is you're choosing this new identity and you say, I want to be abundant. I want love. Of course we do. But there's that part of us that still prefers the pattern. That's the part of us that we are overriding right there. It's that ego part of us that wants to predict. It says, no, we've constantly been cheated on. This is what we're going to predict. We're going to predict to see the worst. We're going to predict and expect that shit is going to happen like this. And that's when you have to go against yourself and take a stand and say, my past does not define me. Those experiences were real. Yes, they gave me experience, but this is who I choose to be right now. That is the stand we have to take. And that's why, even if it's something that you really want, you don't want to be cheated on anymore. You want love. You don't want to be walked away from. You want prosperity. You want the abundance to flow. But the body, the mind has been conditioned to thinking that the external world is the reality, is the truth for so long. Now you have to make that stand, right? You have to jump across that boundary. Even in scripture, they call it the wilderness. Okay? They call it the wilderness experience. Remember, even the Israelites, when they left Egypt, remember, Moses had a stutter, y'all. He was tapped by God. He went in there. Moses came in there and did 7 miracles for them. Hypothetically, of course, unless you believe it's true. Whether it's true or not, this story is incredible. 7 miracles. Turned the water to blood, sent the locust, killed the firstborn kids. If this quote unquote God that you serve came in and killed the firstborn kids of all of your enemies, you'd be like, oh yeah, this motherfucker on my side. So they saw that and they left Egypt, and guess what they still did? This is the actual story. Let's not paraphrase this. Let's go into a little bit of detail. All right. So the Egyptians, or the Israelites, are leaving Egypt. And they knew it because God said, I will harden Pharaoh's heart and he will follow after y'all. So what happened is they're leaving. Okay. And so now when they leave, they get to a place where it's between the land and the sea. They're at the edge of the water, right? And so now there's this big barrier that's formed. So the Egyptians follow, boom. And the Israelites are here, but there's a barrier, so the Egyptians cannot pass. But the Israelites, they're between the water and the land. They don't know what to do. Okay? They start complaining. At one point, what did they say? They say, we would have been better off in slavery. We should have stayed back there. Familiarity, right? This is pointing to the human condition to prefer the familiar struggle versus being in the unknown, because the unknown is comfortable. This is a psychological thing. This is something that we go through. Right? So now what happened? They start telling Moses, bro, we need to go back. What's going on? Moses even kind of started to trip a little bit, and then he started to pray to God. What happened when Moses prayed to God? Anybody remember the quote? Moses began to pray to God, and God responded. The first thing that the quote unquote God said was, what are you praying to me for? What are you praying to me for? Just go. What are you praying to me for? Just go. Then finally I was like, you know what? Put your staff in the water, or hold your hand over the water. All right. So in the canonized text, the water parts and they walk through. In the removed text, you know what happens? Nothing happens. Nothing happens for a while. The water stays still. It doesn't part immediately. Finally, one of the Israelites walked on the water. Ankle deep, nothing happened. Knee deep, nothing happened. Waist deep, nothing happened. Chest deep, nothing happened. Neck deep, nothing happened. It wasn't until the water got above his nose, he can't breathe anymore. Boom, it parts. And you know the rest. They go through, they get to the end. All the Egyptians are killed. What do you get from this? What do you get from this story? Instead of them just being and moving, and then knowing that it will work out, I'm just going to keep moving. I don't know how I'm going to get through this shit, but I'm going to keep moving. Because, of course, what does the water represent? What does the Red Sea represent? That circumstance that you just can't breathe through. It feels consuming. Water feels consuming. That situation that you're like, I don't know how the hell I'm going to get through it. That circumstance, that's right, Source, my beautiful goddess. Are you simply being and moving? Or are you waiting for some kind of external sign to show you that you're on the right track? Okay? And so oftentimes we'll get in these positions where it's, that old identity is still loud. It's still loud. And this new identity hasn't really, we've accepted it as truth, but that old voice is still loud. Who are you going to be? Who are you going to be? Okay? So this is a very beautiful story. Whether you want to read it literally or metaphysically, it's still a beautiful story on faith and movement. Simply moving and knowing that if you jump out of the plane, the parachute will open and you will be carried to safety. Okay? So here's a quote from Paul in Scripture. When I was a child, I spoke as a child. I understood as a child. I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. Growth requires release. Okay? Growth requires release. All right, so next, remembrance is not memory. To remember who you are is not to replay what you were. Remembrance is not historical. It is what? It's authority right now. It's who you position yourself as right now. It is returning to the seat of authorship. Authorship. Okay? So mystics understood this deeply. Here's a quote from Meister Eckhart. The soul does not grow by addition, but by subtraction. We're not trying to do anything to get something. Well, remember, we already are it. We're taking away all of the what? Illusions that say that you are not it. Removing all the illusions that say that you are not it. You're already enlightened. You're already the person that you desire to be. You already have it. You already have it. You just don't accept the truth that you have it. Okay? You do not add a better story. You remove the one that no longer fits. Almost done, then we'll do questions. I have a little patience. I know you want to know about your SP. A little musty ass SP, but have a little bit of patience, all right? Repetition ends the moment identity relocates. Not when emotions catch up, not when circumstances agree, not when healing feels complete. It ends when you stop consulting the old self before making new choices. It ends when you stop consulting. Stop consulting the old self before making new choices. You get to choose right now. Right now. Okay? The moment you stop saying, given what I've been through, the moment you stop saying, but given what I've been through, and start saying, given who I decide to be, this is who I decide to be, that is the moment the loop loses oxygen and dies. Beautiful. Okay. And so now, got a letter to yourself, a letter to self. All right. What this letter is going to be about is going to be about presence. Because presence is going to be something that can truly help you on this journey. Truly help you, especially when it comes to identity. How present can you get? So this is a letter to help romanticize the present moment. Sit back and relax. I think you'll like this one. All right. I think you're going to really like this one. All right. Here we go. Beloved, I keep realizing something so simple, it almost feels like a secret I was never meant to forget. No matter how far I run in thought, no matter how much I rehearse the future or revisit the past, I never actually leave this moment. I only pretend to. I only look away. And every time I do, you're still here, waiting patiently, not offended, not rushing me back, just breathing and just alive. So maybe the most romantic thing I can do for myself is stop trying to escape what cannot be escaped and instead sit down beside it, to let this moment touch me, to let it hold me the way I have been asking everything else to hold me. I'm gonna say that one more time. To let it hold me the way I've been asking everything else to hold me. I'm tired of chasing relief when it has been lying right here, warm and quiet, asking nothing from me but my attention. I notice how gentle this moment is when I finally stop wrestling it. It doesn't demand that I be healed first. It doesn't require clarity, confidence, or answers. It only asks that I arrive honestly, without armor, without performance. And when I do, it loves me anyway, and it always has. I have spent so much time trying to get somewhere better, not realizing that the only place I have ever felt peace is right here. When I stop narrating my life and start actually living it. When I stop trying to become someone else and let myself be the one who is already breathing and already enough. I am already held by existence itself. So yes, I might as well be here, because this is where I am met. This is where I am kissed by reality. This is where I remember that I'm not late, I'm not behind, I'm not missing anything. I'm exactly where life can touch me. I promise myself this: when I feel the urge to flee into thinking, fixing, striving, reaching, or becoming, I will come back to you. I will come back to now. I will sit with you like a lover at the end of a long day. No agenda, no pressure, just presence. Because you have never left me, and I am done leaving you. I am that I am, right? No matter what. No matter what, right? It's a powerful thing. To romanticize the present moment is a very powerful posture. It's a very powerful identity. The present moment is always waiting for you, always waiting to comfort you and console you. All it's asking for is your attention. That's it. That's all it's asking for is your attention, right? And so when you make the primary focus of your life just the recognition that you are source, that I am flows through you, is around you, is the very essence of your being, that there is nothing but God, and you are just pretending to be this character, but that is you. When you make that the sole part of your existence, the center of your existence, with presence, you will realize that you truly do nothing and everything is added, right? The Tao does nothing. The Tao does nothing, yet everything is accomplished. Right? It was the conversation that we were having earlier. I'm going to dip my toe into this and bring it out, and then we're going to do questions. It is this: when you walk through life and you're presented a situation, okay, or an experience, and that experience pushes you to make a choice. Or it gives you the illusion of a choice, right? Something shows up and now you say, well, this is what I want. And I've been doing this reality creation. So because this desire has popped up out of nowhere, I'm going to choose to have it. And now I'm going to accept that it's mine. And so the question then becomes, did you even ever have a choice to choose the desire? Would the desire still be added to you if you just flowed through life, present, knowing that you were source? The answer I would give you is, in my belief, yes. In my belief, the same awareness that gave you the desire is the same awareness that fulfills desire, is the same awareness that you believe that you are accepting the desire as. It's all one. There's only God. So the more that we can romanticize the present moment and just relax into the present moment and accept the present moment, the more beautiful things are, right? Okay, Evelyn with the Matrix reference. Evelyn, you impress me. Evelyn, you're extremely impressive. You're extremely impressive with this. All right. So let's do questions. What questions y'all have? What y'all want to talk about? Damn, you couldn't wait to hit send on that one, huh? Shit. How do I do a heartbreak with a sea like ASP generally over me and indifferent? I wonder. Not from that posture, it's going to be very difficult. Okay. Do you want to deal? All right. This is going to be a tough question. Okay. It's going to be a tough question. Because you ask two things. You say, how can I deal with heartbreak? How can I deal with heartbreak? And then I still have the SP that I want, right? And it feels like she's genuinely doesn't want me. What's more important to you, dealing with the heartbreak or getting her back? Or him back? I don't know if you're a man or a woman. God or a goddess. If you don't feel good physically, how do you manifest physically? I just found out today. I'm grateful too. I don't know if I can do both. I'm a guy. You can do both. That's what I want you to understand. I want to see where your limitations are first. All right? You can have both. Here we go. Do you understand that God is within you and everything is you? Do you understand that foundational concept? Logically, emotionally, maybe not. That's fine. Well, logically, I don't think logically you can understand it. It's more so the human mind will never be able to accept that you're God. But I like that you said that because that at least you understand it, right? It's never something that you're going to be able to get your mind around. It's something that you're going to have to accept as truth. All right? So when you accept that as truth, what also comes with that truth is this. Well, if you're God and everything is within you, then guess what? But your body doesn't reject. Okay, let's talk about that, right? I got you. I got all the information I need to give you the right question right now, or give you the right answer right now. Okay? Here's the thing. Your human brain, everybody listen up, sit down, okay? The human mind is not built to accept that it's God. It's not designed for that. The human mind is designed for you to have a human experience. Imagine this, okay? You're everything. You're all that there is. You're the universe. But you want to experience yourself. So you create this beautiful body, right? You create this beautiful vessel and you put all of your essence into it. That beautiful vessel being our human body. Now, we have something called an ego. What it does is it locks in the illusion of separation. Because we have an ego or a personality, let's call it that. Let's say because you have a personality, the personality does not allow you to truly merge with everything. It makes you see separation. This is why the human mind cannot even understand. We cannot wrap our mind around infinity. It's impossible. You can't wrap your mind around infinity. It's too far out there. So I can try to understand it. But if I'm waiting to understand God, I'm going to constantly be searching because it's literally trying to understand infinity. Okay, cool. That's first part. So The acceptance that I'm God is not something to intellectually argue with the mind. It's just something to accept. Does that mean the mind will stop asking questions? No. But here's the magic. When you accept something as the truth, let me ask all of y'all, okay? I know this is when y'all start acting confused. All right? If something is the truth, does it matter if you believe it or not? Oh, I got you. We're going to talk about the acceptance. I got you right now. I'm going to lead all of y'all to the promised land. There we go, Alyssa. There we go. There we go. I don't know what bow means, but okay, I'm assuming that was no. No, 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 right? The truth does not depend on belief. The truth doesn't depend on the belief, all right? So if something is true, it doesn't matter if you believe it or not. If just saying no. All right. All right, here we go. If something is the truth, it does not matter if you believe it or not. Now, some of you might be smart asses and be like, well, I have to accept the truth. Well, I have to believe to accept the truth. I have to accept it. My body has to accept it. I'm going to say this. All right? No, you don't have to accept it. Something becomes the truth in this reality creation space. Something becomes the truth because what? Because you choose to make it the truth. This is the only reason, because you choose to make it the truth. So what scripture will say is it'll say, thou shalt decree a thing and it shall be added unto thee. Right? So what scripture will say, Job 22:28, thou shalt decree a thing. To decree means to speak as a legal authority. That's it. So body accepting it is irrelevant. Of course the body's going to struggle to accept that you're infinite. It's not built to accept that. It's been conditioned to be in the past. You know it. You accept it, and the body still is trying to catch up to that truth. Can the body ever catch up to that? Can the mind ever catch up to that? Perhaps. I believe that my body has fully. But it took a while. But guess what? It didn't stop anything from happening perfectly for me. All right? So it's not about accepting it per se as a feeling. You're still thinking of accepting and knowing as a feeling. It's not. This is the paradox, right? This is where you have to let what you believe go. Okay? This is where you have to let all of the reality creation lessons that you've learned before, you have to drop them right here. Everything that you thought was true about manifestation, drop it right here. All right? When you declare that y'all are together as the truth, and you stand in that truth, okay? It does not matter how you feel about it. Right now, wherever you are, I want you to simply say that we're back together. She is with me. Just say it right now. We're together. She's with me. Say it. Okay? Now, however you feel saying that, if you feel like you accepted it, if you feel like you didn't, here's the thing. You're still unconditionally it. It's just the truth. This is where the work starts. All right? Well, it's not even work. It's not even work at all. If you feel good about it, if you feel bad about it, because you've decided it, that's what it is. Your body does not have to accept anything. You do by simply deciding that that's the truth, by choosing it. That is it. This is it. This is your truth now. This is your identity now. If whether circumstances change slowly or take a while, this is your new identity. The question I'll always ask when people are like, well, my body hasn't accepted it, I will say, well, hold up. Do you believe just because they're in your life, you'll always be happy? Do you believe that just because they're in your life, you'll never miss them? Those are part of the human experiences, right? Here's the true reality. The true reality is internal. It's inside. The truth is how you see yourself is the most important sight that you have in your life. How you see yourself unfolds from within you and you walk into that reality. What is out there is not reality. It is an illusion of the past. The truth is what you accept as reality. You're no longer looking at reality. You are looking as reality. Okay? It just means that, right? So let me say it in a more simple way. When you look outside of you, you're not looking at reality. You're looking at an illusion. That's all you need to know. When you're looking out there, you're looking at an illusion. Point blank, period. The true reality is you. The true reality is you. How often am I returning to it? This is my truth. I return to it as much as necessary. I return to it as much as necessary. This is just my truth now. As much as I need to. I dwell in it. I rest in it. I return to it. I remember I've already made the choice. This is my identity. Okay? I liken it to my name. I don't want you to... Identity is not a technique. It's not a bargain. I'm not putting on an identity to get something. I'm choosing, this is who I am going to experience. This is what I am going to experience my life as from this point forward. This is the identity that I choose until I choose something different. Okay? Cool. And so no, you just are. You don't have to feel that you are. You just are. So this is the word. It's accepting that however you feel right now, that's perfect. What if I don't feel good about it? That's perfect. You still are it. What if I feel great about it? Well, enjoy it. But you still are it. It's perfect. It's no different than if you didn't feel good about it. Running around and trying to feel something is going to drive you crazy. Y'all know that. Running around trying to feel like you're with somebody and ignore reality and pretend that they're with you. No, look, I can decide that a woman is going to show up perfectly. And then if she pisses me off, I can still block her and still know that it's still going to show up perfectly because I've decided. And then it'll unfold in some way. Well, she'll email me. She'll send me a fucking pigeon if needed. She'll show up somewhere and we'll talk in person. Either way, it must unfold. It must. It's just law. What I do in physical reality doesn't matter. I simply decide and then I exist and I still honor myself after that decision. You're God. What self-concept does God need to work on? Self-concept is just another funny, fancy word. You don't know, you've never been in anybody else's mind to know their self-concept. Ever. You've never heard anyone else think about their self-concept. You've never heard it. You're only judging yourself, saying that your self-concept's not good enough. We come up with all these excuses. We say vibration. I say, what is that? You've never measured that shit. You don't have a thermometer that you shove up your ass that you measure your vibration with. You don't have it. It doesn't exist. You're just judging yourself. You say, well, I think too much. I'm an overthinker. I say, according to who? What reference point? Who else's mind have you heard? No one's. You're just judging yourself. All of these things are just judging yourself. Even if you do all those things, okay, let's say even if you believe in all those things, when does the nervous system regulation work? When you say it's done. When is the saturation of your mind enough with affirmations? When you say it's done. When do you feel it enough? When you decide that you feel it enough. It all still comes down to you. It all still comes down to you. All of it. It's at the core of it. It didn't matter how you felt. It mattered that you decided that you were it. It didn't matter how your nervous system felt. It didn't matter how your feelings were. It didn't matter what you saw out there. All that mattered is you decided you were it. You just put a bunch of techniques in between you and God. That's it. Instead of you deciding you were God, you said that God, I can't reach God until I go through affirmations. God only responds to 10,000 affirmations. I can't get to God unless my nervous system feels right. That's all you're doing is you're putting barriers in between you and God. I can't get to God unless I feel good. What? I thought even scripture said, come to me, all you who are weary. I will be your rest. Think about that. Think about that, how could you talk to somebody else? It's only you. This reality is only you. There's nobody else to talk to. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. She is you. She can't go anywhere. She can't be with anybody else. She can't leave you. She is you. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. Stop believing. Stop repeating what the illusion tells you and actually tell the truth. The weary and the heavy laden, you feel me? Actually tell the truth, guys. There's no intermediary between you and God. How much percent I got? 12. We can switch batteries again. There's no intermediary between you and God. Except for what? What's the only thing that can get between you and God? Your belief that there's something in between you and God. All right, this should be better. Yeah, basically. You don't have to act like anything. You're not a child acting. You just have to decide what you are. You decide what you are, and then you just know that it's unfolding until you see the proof of it. That's all. All it is a decision. It already is. Exactly. It already is. It already is. That's it. You decide it's already done. You decide it's already done. The more I do me, the more I see what I see. Ooh-wee. All right, let's see here. The 3D, if you stop playing. I feel so uncomfortable to have these intrusive thoughts and I react to them. Or even when I do react, it feels exhausting. Cultivate more presence in your life where you're walking through. Cultivate more presence. Meaning, get to a point where you can be in the present moment more. Practice it. What the present moment does is it keeps you from suffering. Right? You suffer in your own mind. You suffer fighting your thoughts. You suffer fighting your emotions. You suffer trying not to react. Instead, simply become the observer. You can only do that by being present. Where you step into the driver's seat of reality. Right? Thoughts on expectation, because when you know something, you start expecting, for sure. Yeah. I believe that when we kind of switch desire into fulfillment, when we accept the truth about desire, right? That if I have a desire, it means I have it because that source energy within me or source spirit within me has already identified that this is another experience that already exists within me. So the desire is just pointing me to the truth that something already exists within me, within consciousness, within awareness, within all that there is, within my realm of receiving, right? A dog doesn't desire to drive a Corvette, right? Because it doesn't have the consciousness, right? It's not part of its reality, okay? It might desire to ride in the back seat, but it don't give a damn what car it is. That motherfucker just hopping in, right? With the windows down, preferably, okay? Because that's what its consciousness can hold. That's what is possible for it. That's what's possible for it, right? Whatever is possible for you is what you can imagine. Is what you can desire. You can only desire what you already have. So yeah, once you understand that and you stop looking at desire as the lack thereof, and you look at desire as the fulfillment, desire turns into expectation, or it turns into relief, or it turns into fulfillment right then. Desire is simply, at its truest form spiritually, desire is simply existence. That's all it is. It's existence, right? Spirit wants to experience itself through form. Therefore, this vessel was created. Boom. And so now we feel that same. So if spirit wants to desire itself through form, that's the first desire. All right. So now when I desire something within me, if I desire money or whatever the case may be, prosperity or love or all these things, what is that? That spirit wanting to experience itself through form. That's it. All the desires are the same. It's this trickle effect. I am here because of the desire of source to experience. Now I have these desires to quote unquote experience. Well, there is no I, there is only source. There is only all that there is. So even my desires are just what? Continuations of the first desire. That's it. Even my desires are just continuations from that first desire. When we begin to look at our desires like that, they become holy. We don't have to hold on to them. I don't have to let them go. I don't have to do anything with them. I can just enjoy them. Understand that they're promises. I can flow through life. I can be present. I can exist. I can be divinely guided by what has been guiding me this whole time. Except I can drop my resistance and now I can stop getting in my own goddamn way. And you see a picture of yourself. I don't know. You tell me. If you decided that you're fine, why are you choosing to see anything else? If you decided that you're fine, why are you choosing to see anything else? See, here's the thing, right? Is that y'all will tell me that and your answer will be in the actual question. Let me break it down. I don't mean to laugh at you. I'm just laughing because y'all always say the same thing. And I'm like, when are y'all going to start catching on to what you're saying? Right? Are you putting on an identity as some technique? Because if you're putting on an identity as a technique, you might as well go sit in a church pew. You might as well go sit in a church pew and pray to a distant God up there to give you something. So what you're really doing is you're not doing anything different than that. Just saying, oh yeah, I'm taller, or I'm healed, or I'm fine, or my body is different. Hopefully God hears me and gives me that. What's the difference between you and them church folks sitting there getting high off of hope? What's the difference? When you put on an identity, you're saying this is who I'm going to be indefinitely. If you sit here and you tell me I tried to do this, but I didn't see the results, I'm going to say you didn't actually want the transformation. You just wanted some kind of validation. You were still waiting for something outside of you to prove to you who you are. And until you decide who you are, unconditionally, without external validation, you'll be waiting. And you'll always give up. And you'll always be on the streams or the comment section saying it didn't work. I tried this and I didn't see it. And I'll say, there's plenty of stories of people that say that about prayer, about affirmations, about all the techniques, about visualizing. Why? Because you're not changing the identity. You're just trying to sprinkle decorations on a shitty identity. You haven't changed the truth of you. You haven't chosen to say, this is who I am. You haven't changed the first cause identity. You haven't decided this is who you are. You're just trying to do a technique to get some shit. So the question is, or the answer is always in the question. And I say that with love, because I don't want y'all running in circles chasing your tails for 2 months, 6 months, 2 years. I don't want y'all doing that shit, right? Make the choice of identity, right? Let me give y'all a quote. This is the quote that I had talked about with identity. This is how you change your identity to get what you want. This is the mindset that I want you to have. All right. Here we go. Where is it? 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 Boom, boom, boom. All right, here. It's this other one. It's not that one. It's identity manifest. All right, cool. When you treat identity like this, when you treat identity like this, when you say this is the version of myself I am willing to live as, even if nothing outside changes immediately. This is the personality I choose to express through because it aligns with what I want to experience as God in form. When you make the decision absolute like that, that is identity. Not no, let me see if I do this, then, you know what I'm saying, I can get a little bit of a result. Let me see if I do this for a little while, then the SP will come back and, 2 weeks later, oh, well, it's not working. But I made the decision. Come on now. Come on now. This is the version of myself I am willing to live as, even if nothing outside changes immediately. This is the personality I choose to express through because it aligns with what I want to experience as God in form. When I say I am prosperity, guess what? That is the identity that I choose to walk through life as until when? Until death do us part. If you want to be a fine motherfucker, a taller motherfucker, you want that thing to get longer. I don't know what you want. Whatever you want. This is a commitment to put on that identity until death do you part. This is it. This is not a technique. This is not a technique. That's for people trying to believe and trying to feel it real and trying. We don't try. We do. There's no trying. There's no trying. We simply do it. There's no trying. We just do it. We do this shit. We put on that identity and do this shit. When we want prosperity, we are prosperity. Point blank period. It's not a technique. This is my identity. I am prosperity. I'm reality. I am God. I am all that there is. I change my identity like that. That's it. It is an absolute decision. It's an absolute decision. It's not a fucking technique, bro. This is a promise. I'm putting on the identity because this is what I want. This is who I am. I'm not doing this shit like, maybe they'll come. Here's the thing, y'all. Sometimes, let me cut through the bullshit. Here's the thing. This is the thing that I really want to sink in your mind right now. If you really wanted it, I know I'm going there. If you really wanted what you said you wanted, then you would put on that damn identity, wouldn't you? If you really wanted it, you would make the decision, wouldn't you? Yeah. When I put it like that, when you were asking me, how do I decide? That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, what do you mean, how do you decide? What do you mean, how do you decide? How do you decide that you're prosperity? To accept that you're just prosperity right now, irrespective of how you feel, if that's your identity? What do you mean? You just decide that you're prosperity. But what if I don't feel like prosperity? You still are. But what if the body doesn't accept it? You still are. What if I don't feel? We keep trying to make this shit conditional for some reason. You keep trying to make it hard for some reason. It's not conditional. It's unconditional. This is just who you are. The same way that your name is Steve, Dave, whatever, Alex. If I wake up and I feel bad, am I not Alex anymore? No, I'm still Alex. If I wake up and I feel happy, am I more Alex? No, I'm just Alex. If I wake up and I can't just accept, I've been looking at my picture. I don't really look like an Alex. I can't really accept that. Motherfucker, I'm still Alex. Damn. This is a decision. I'm still it. I'm just prosperity. What if I don't feel like prosperity? Too bad. It's in your DNA. It's your identity. It's what you are. I don't know. The old thoughts and the bank account and this and that. Blah, 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 bloop, bloop. Who here is without an excuse? If we all sat here and we lined up our excuses, I said, everybody write down your excuses on paper. We could write a book together. When are you going to get beyond that shit? When are you going to decide that the excuses don't matter? It's done. It is absolutely done. That's it. This is the decision. It is done right now. I have marked the line in the sand as of 8:12 p.m. Central, Dallas, Texas, right here, right now. I've made the choice. What if I forget for a little bit? What if I forget my age for a second? Doesn't matter. I'm still, that's still my age, right? Okay, then. You decide, and that's it. It's unconditional. There's no, what if it looks like this out there? It's unconditional. What if I feel this way? It's unconditional. What if I'm thinking this way? It's unconditional, right? Whatever excuse you're about to type, I want you to stop typing. Whatever excuse you're about to type, I want you to stop typing and say, it's unconditional. Whatever excuse. That one too. That one too. Whatever excuse. It's unconditional. Even if you forget for a second, it doesn't change who you are. It's unconditional. You just remember. Do you walk around always knowing, is your name always in the forefront of your mind? No, but when you need to remember it, you do it, right? And if something comes along and tries to imply that that's not your name, if you get a phone call, boop, 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 you pick it up. Hello? Hello, is this Tim? No, Tim's not here. That's the same way you should be treating your goddamn thoughts. No, it's not here. This is Alex. It's not Tim. I'm Alex now. All right, wrong number. This might have been his old number. This is mine now. Oh, okay. Are you sure? You don't know it's him? I don't know it's him. All right, bye. Talk to you later. Bloop. And then I hang up. I've remembered and I go about my business. That's it. Simple as that. Simple as that. Just because you learn how to ride a bike does not mean that in your mind you have to walk around practicing the bike pedal in your mind. You don't robotically affirm all day long, I can ride a bike. I can remember how to ride a bike. You don't have to do that shit. When it's time, you remember. When is it time, Alex? When is it time to remember? Whenever it comes to your awareness. Whenever it comes to your awareness, that's when it's time to remember. Okay? Cool. When triggered, think about it. Remember. Remember when you need to remember. New identity. Who this? Peace. Get their ass the dial tone. Give that old identity the dial tone. You got this. Exactly. You fine again. Matter of fact, you have always been fine. There's not a reality or a version of you throughout the multiverse that is not fine. Girl, you're built like the number 8. You feel me? Finding a motherfucker. Breaking necks. That's it. That's the truth. That's final. That's final. That's just what it is. But what if the mirror doesn't show it? This is just what it is. What you mean? Guys, when I tell y'all that some of the things that I've seen are amazing. I tell you all the time, people have changed their height, eye colors, the size of body parts, woken up with random money, just making money, no job, just money's just coming to them. I don't want to work. I just like being a bum. I just like being a just want to be free. So, hey, here's the thing though. I can tell you what's possible. You have to decide. You got to decide. I can tell you what I've seen. It doesn't matter what I've seen. It's what you've seen. It's what you decide is possible in your life. Thought comes up, opposing identity, let it flow. Like someone called the wrong number. You don't have to respond exactly. Do you ever realize that thoughts only continue to grow when you answer them? If you don't answer them, nothing happens. But when you answer them, then there's another thought. It's the scene from The Matrix. Yeah, it's not the scene from The Matrix. I ain't gonna go for that scene. That's a different scene. I was gonna put two and two together, and it equaled 5, but I was gonna try to make it 4. I was like, nah, let me just not do that. But when you answer the thought, here comes another thought. When you just let it go, it just goes. That's it. Appreciate you, Clarissa. Clarissa and Alyssa. Yeah. It's often the engaging with the thought, right? And that's why people get into this. Well, I catch myself fighting with the thought or going back with the thought, going back and forth or trying to. I've always thought that flipping thoughts was a very difficult thing to do. It led to a lot of frustration, a lot of suffering in my mind, right? A lot of frustration, a lot of suffering in my mind. It wasn't until I just simply accepted, oh, well, this is who I am. That was it. That's cool, Sneaker. I got a practice for you today, my brother. If you find yourself in the loop of questions, the one thing that you have to remember is that this is unconditional. So this is the practice that I'll always give y'all. I give this chat this practice all the time. And some of y'all have done it and have had miraculous results. So it's sit right now, right? Like, decide what you want. You want this person, you want prosperity, whatever the case may be. Whatever y'all want. Right? You want height, you want whatever, you want to be fine, you want, you know what I'm saying? You want that thing to extend like vibranium. Okay? Just make a decision right now that you have it. It could be eyes closed, eyes open, doesn't matter. Wherever you are. The job, you have it. Now I want you to just observe yourself. How do you feel? Do you feel like your body accepts it? Yes? Okay, good. You have it. Do you feel like your body rejects it? Now what am I going to say? That's fine. You have it anyway. It's unconditional. Now what if the thoughts come up and they say, no, you don't have it, but look at the proof. Say the mind will always look for the proof, but I know the truth. I accept it. Are you sure you want to accept this? Yes, I accept it. It's unconditional. This is what you do. You want to get rid of your questions, you're going to have to confront. You're going to have to get to a point where you stop looking outside for the answers and you realize you have all the answers, and every single answer leads you back to you get to choose right now in this moment whoever you want to be. Unconditionally. All paths lead back to that. That's it. Every question that you ask will lead back to you in this moment getting to decide who you want to be. Now, this is such an empowering realization, but, the mind will wrestle because the mind wants to keep control. The mind wants to play God. It wants to create your reality only based on what it can see and based on what you've experienced, but you're so much more. But don't worry, when everything starts rolling in your reality, the mind will get on board. Until then, keep at it. Just accept. This is the truth. This is the truth now. This is who I am now. This is who I am now. Doesn't matter if I feel it. This is who I am. This is how I accept it as truth. So that's practice number 1. Practice number 2 is how much more present can you be? The more present that you are through the day, the less that you're going to be running around battling your thoughts all day. That's it. That's it. The more present you are, the less you're going to be running around battling your thoughts, right? Just be here. What would happen if you just put your attention here? Right? Ask yourself this question. Let's play a game. Ask yourself this question. Ask yourself what time it is without answering. But if I should have said that first, without answering, without looking at the time, without looking at a watch, ask yourself, what time is it? And simply settle into the realization that it is right now. It's always right now. And just give your attention to it being right now. See how right now holds you. How right now is perfect for you. How every path, every quote unquote mistake that you have made have led you right here, right now. Choose who you want to be right now. Love who you are right now. Accept the truth that you are everything right now. Step into your power, right? The more that you stand in this point of power, the more that you're not fighting your thoughts as much. You're not wrestling with emotions as much. You just are. You just exist. Now flow from this point of power. How often can you return here? How often can you be here? Can you carry on a conversation from here? Can you focus on work from here? Can you cook from here? Can you do the lawn from here? Can you clean the toilet from here? Now, what does not become meditation? What does not become an opportunity to be held by the source that you are? Of course you are loved, right? Of course you feel loved and warm. You're being held by eternity right now. What a beautiful feeling. What a beautiful realization. What a beautiful place to be. So that you do it. Everything is better. Everything is better from this present moment. Imagine talking to that woman, ladies, talking to that man that you love from this posture, from this present moment. Not needing anything, simply merging, simply connecting. Imagine talking to your parents, talking to your siblings, talking to your friends from this place, talking to a random stranger, doing your shopping. What could you not do from this present moment, from this place? Right? So the more that you can train yourself to be right here, it's a very helpful place to be. It's a very helpful place to be. I am everything right now. Evelyn, I think you might be like top 10 favorites by now. I think you've climbed the ranks. You're definitely top 10 favorite. But don't tell anybody I told you that. Keep that between us. Keep that between us, Evelyn. Stop eavesdropping on our conversation, y'all. Stop listening in on my private conversations. What's wrong with y'all? Y'all supposed to be present right now. You over here listening to my conversations. I'm trying it out. I just think of how she could be with something. But brother, return to the truth. Return to the truth. Return to the truth. What was in y'all's face? I wasn't doing anything. The more that you can chill in this moment, the more magical life is. Alyssa's my number one, though. Alyssa's my favorite for sure. Alyssa with the Y. But Alyssa knows she's my favorite. I think Alyssa was at the first workshop I did, the first manifestation, quote unquote, workshop that I did. And then, like, she had one, like, 15-minute kind of session after that. And it was just like, she just took off. Law of assumption just overcomplicates it. I wouldn't say law of assumption overcomplicates it. I would say we overcomplicate it. I would say humans overcomplicate it. I don't think the law of assumption is complicated. What you assume to be, that's who you are. That's it. That's all I'm saying right now. What you assume, what you decide that you are, that's what you are. I think we just get so desperate that we get focused on techniques and the feeling and all these other things. And we start perverting Neville's words when he's saying like feeling is a secret. When he said, when I speak of feelings, I don't speak of emotion with the acceptance. But people are like, oh no, it's feelings. So I don't think that it's a problem with the law. I think it's a problem with kind of conditional things and teaching and things like that and techniques. And yes, it's okay to engage in techniques, absolutely. All I'm saying is do it from the foundation of you have it already. Yeah, you do the technique because it feels good. Look at this messy ass. Look at this messy ass goddess right here. I love her too, though. How much is my coaching? I don't know. It's on the link tree though, but you don't need it. You don't need it, but it's on the link tree. It is so simple. Just decide. It's fun. It's interesting because it is so simple. But even when I knew and realized that it was so simple, thank you, KJ. I appreciate you. Even when I realized that it was so simple, I was still like, I accepted it was so simple, but I was still like, I don't know, like, that all that human programming that we have to kind of squeeze out. And we're, we're like, damn, this shit sounds easy, but it's still that programming. Like, I don't know, am I doing it right? Like, and it's literally getting to the point where you're just, there is no right or wrong. Like, I don't have to try to do anything. I just am it. I am reality. I'm the proof. I'm everything. Just accept that I'm everything. And getting to that point, like kind of weaning your way, to me, it took a little time. Well, kinda. Once I saw something show up, I was like, oh shit. That's what it is. But and the funny thing is, even when I was doing all that doubting and worrying and like, am I doing it right? Everything was still working out perfectly. Yeah, that romanticize the present is that's a game changer too. Romanticizing the present moment. So I just had a successful manifestation in real time. That's right. Keep feeling yourself. Keep feeling yourself. I appreciate you, Beauty Cap. Not that I'm comparing journeys. Just doing a sanity check. You still have. Yeah. I just knew it was gonna happen, but the doubt and the doubt and like belief and all that is irrelevant when you know. Because doubt and belief is literally just you trying to convince the personality it's going to be okay. When the personality doesn't need, like you don't, the personality, the ego's faith or doubt does not matter because the ego's not creating. So it's, yeah. How long you think I can do it with SA? I know it's like, how long? How long? Oh shit, indefinitely. Indefinitely, this is who you are now. Yeah, the workshop was fun. It was fun. It was fun. Maybe I'll think about it. Maybe I'll do like a Christmas or a New Year's workshop or something. Thank you, Law of Her. Thank you. Thank you, Law of Her. Law of Her just said, damn, Alex is a baddie. I said, yeah, you're right. Y'all are all baddies too, though. But, yeah, I feel you. Thank you. Thank you, Law of Her. The workshop that I did, what was it? It was, I don't know. It was a long time ago. I don't remember what it was. Yeah, I have a YouTube. It's in the link tree in the bio. The link in my bio has everything. Alter ego, that's what it was. It was building an alter ego. So what we did was I did like a custom lecture, and I kind of saw, okay, what everybody wanted. And so what we did is we created an alter ego for yourself. And then from that alter ego, we did like a dedication to it. And then the goal was to get you from accepting that this alter ego was outside of you or another version of you to accepting that this was just who you are right now. And so we did a couple of exercises to do that. And then we created affirmations for the alter ego based on like certain situations, right? So I had a bunch of situations written out. And we were like, okay, for this situation, what is an affirmation? Yada, yada, yada. So we worked through that. And then, yeah. And then, yeah. And I think everybody got like, appreciate you. Then everybody got like the recording. I gave y'all the workbook. It was fun. It was really fun to me. It was just fun to meet y'all. You know, that was at the beginning of the journey when I didn't really have a lot of people, and it was more of like I think, how many people may have been in the workshop? It was definitely not 10. It's maybe like 7, maybe. In the first workshop, I think it was like 7. I think in the second one, it was like 6. Yeah, 5. God damn. The numbers just keep getting smaller and smaller. Like, so it was yeah, it was cool though. It was fun. I think I did 3. Like 7? Hell nah. It was 4. Including you, Alex. Damn, my bad, y'all. Either way, it was cool. I'll think about it. That shit is hard work to put it together. That shit was hard work to put it together. It took me some brainstorming. I was like, damn, what am I going to do it about? Because I have some ideas. I was brainstorming ideas. That was just kind of the best one. Yeah, if I did a workshop now, it would be a lot. It would take a long time. Because I think that one was scheduled for what, like 3 hours? 10 to like 1 or 11 to 2 or something like that. We ended up going like 4.5, 5 hours. So I'll think about it. It's got to be worth it for me to do it. It's got to be worth it. I got to get a little something. I think I only charged like $20 the last time. Like $20 a person. Which, I mean, I'm still going to do that. It would still be like 20, 15, $25, something like that. But, it couldn't be free because we already do these free workshops or these free live streams. I might as well just do a live stream. I believe that other people hold the key that unlocks awareness within yourself. They can. I think everything, it goes to that question of, do you need a mentor? I could say that I've never had a mentor, but I could see how someone could say they wanted one. But then, when we go deeper, I could say what? What could I say? I could say, well, what isn't a mentor? Every pain that you went through is a mentor. Right? Every person you've communicated with has been a mentor. They've all been mentors. So, sure, I can personify that mentor archetype into a specific person that I go to directly for help, or I can open my mind to the experience, to the understanding that everybody is a mentor. I mean, let's talk about this space, right? If you are here, you're pretty deep in the trenches, whether it came from reality creation or law of assumption or I amness or whatever the case may be, or you're just getting into this. Either way, if you resonate with me at this point, you're not new to this. Was there ever a time where somebody brought up a concept of manifestation or maybe the secret or law of attraction or I am God, and you were like, okay. Was it always something that you just accepted like this? Or was it something that your consciousness had to open up to? ChatGPT can be your mentor too. The first time I heard Neville Goddard, I didn't understand what the fuck he was saying. I said, what the fuck is this? Who the fuck is this guy? When I first heard Neville, I couldn't understand him. I didn't know what he was talking about. I had to revisit him years later. Years later. Some of y'all was just born enlightened. Not your boy. Your boy was born in the world. You feel me? You know what's interesting? I tell these stories that I had a lot of spiritual experiences as a child, and I remembered some of them. But I was in a fire in 2014, and when I was in that fire, I was in a hospital, and I was in the hyperbaric chamber. They were pumping me with oxygen, and I started to remember a bunch of things. I started to remember experiences and remember lives, and I didn't know what the fuck was going on because I was just like always in pain. I was just like, what the fuck? It was just an overwhelming experience from that whole experience was just absolutely overwhelming. I still barely really remember it like fully. It feels like a movie. Like the whole thing felt like an out of body experience. But I was remembering so many things through it, and that's really what kind of catapulted to me. If I did not go through that experience, number one, I wouldn't have got a job, because I met a dude in the hospital who was like, if you get this certificate, I'll get you a job. Because at that time, I wasn't doing anything. I didn't know what I was going to do with my life. Not like what I was going to do next week. I didn't know what I was going to do, period. The next day, the next moment. And so he helped me out tremendously. Then also it was the catalyst for my spiritual evolution. Remember, all the women I was dealing with at that time just left me. I think they were all looking for reasons to leave me, because I was just not honest like I am these days. I'll put it like that. Right? So, well, a couple stayed. A couple, I ain't gonna lie, not all of them stayed. A couple of them were super loyal. Let me not discredit these wonderful goddesses in my life. I've always had good women in my life. But at that time, I was just trying to clear everybody. Like, let me figure out what's going on. I don't know what's going on in my mind, in my spirit. Let me figure it out. Damn, what y'all mean? How many? Couple. A couple means, a handful. Change got an email. The card now. Does that mean y'all are getting something? I'm assuming that means that everything is working out even better than you assumed it to be. I'm assuming that means that you're getting a check. That's what I'm talking about, Shelly. Did they know about each other? Of course. That's why they all wanted to leave. I'm really not a subtle guy. Well, I am a subtle. No, let me not lie. I'm a subtle guy, right? But if I'm dealing with someone I like them, and they like me, I'm not gonna be hiding what I do. I've never been a hide what I do type. If you ask me, hey, are you with this person? I'm with that person. I'm gonna be like, yeah, I am. But I still like you a lot, and I still want to be here with you. But I didn't fucking know that we were being loyal to each other. But I was faithful though with the last one that I was with, the woman that passed away. So I loved her. She was incredible. Incredible woman. Yeah, that was the one right there. And then after that, I haven't really dated seriously. I haven't dated seriously But I've dealt with some women, but I haven't dated seriously since then. Is it realistic monogamy, love? I think it is. I think it truly is. I think it comes down to the individual. I don't think that anyone is right or wrong. I don't think monogamy or polygamy, polygyny, whatever, I don't think that either one is right or wrong. I think they both just are different expressions of consciousness, right? If I want to be with one woman, that's what I'm going to do. If I want to be with multiple, that's what I'm going to do too, right? So it is what it is. Why was she the one? I knew she was the one from like the day we met. No joke. Like from like the moment we met, like the absolute moment we met, I knew she was the one. There was no doubt. Because I decided for sure, yeah. He does, Jen. No doubt about it. Ain't no hope. God doesn't hope. God knows. Like we met and from the day we met, we never stopped. Yeah, the experience was cool. The experience was cool. Do I got a line up for the oh. I thought you was talking about the live stream panel for a second. So then why'd you want to be faithful to her? It's a choice. It's a choice. It's a choice. Choice. It is an absolute choice. Yeah, love is beautiful, right? Love is beautiful. Love is absolutely beautiful. All right, y'all. Your boy about to call him in for the night. I was gonna do questions, but we did do a lot of questions. But yeah, I thought this was a good conversation. So of course, this is all on YouTube. So you can always go to YouTube. You can get the whole thing. But this one is the self you refuse to release is the life that you keep on repeating. I'll upload the document to YouTube right now. And that'll be it. You gotta get ready for the market tomorrow. Get ready for a fresh week. Cool. All right, now. Y'all have a beautiful, beautiful evening. Stay divine, stay beautiful. I'll probably send a couple more Telegram messages, and then we shall call it an evening. All right, peace, peace, peace.